Great revolutionary movements often produce memorable music. The Indian National Army, led by Netaji Bose, created stirring patriotic music and songs that inspired freedom fighters in the 1940s and have left an indelible imprint on the cultural life of the Indian nation. We present Aine music and songs recorded soon after the end of the Second World War. On 2nd July 1943, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose arrived in Singapore, once a bulwark, now a graveyard of the British Empire. He had come across half the globe after a perilous 90-day submarine voyage. He was greeted with the song, Subhashaji, Subhashaji, wo jaane hind aa gaye, wo naaz jis pe hind ko, wo shaan hind aa gaye, composed by Mumtaz Hussain. This was an early indication of the affection and pride that Indians in Southeast Asia felt for their revered leader. There in front of you is the road that our pioneers have built. We shall march along that road. We shall carve our way through the enemy's ranks.
Jai Hind. On behalf of Netaji Research Bureau, it's my privilege to welcome you all to the traditional assembly on Subhash Chandra Bose's birth anniversary, which has been taking place in this space for more than 7 decades. We have some special guests with us today. We have Bharati Sahai Chaudhary, a veteran of the Rani of Jhansi Regiment. The commander and the deputy commander of the Rani of Jhansi Regiment, Lakshmi Swaminathan Saigal and Janaki Thevar Athinahappan, have both graced this dais many times. Scores of Ranis have come here on 23rd January down the decades. In January 1980, in fact, Netaji Research Bureau organized and hosted a full-fledged convention of Rani of Jhansi Regiment veterans here at Netaji Bhawan, which was attended by Ranis from across India and from several other countries. Bharati, or Asha Sahai, is the daughter of the freedom fighter Anand Mohan Sahai, one of Netaji's close companions in struggle in the Azad Hind movement from 1943 to 1945. She is also related, through her mother Shoti Sen, to Deshabandhu Chittaranjan Das, the political guru of both Sharad and Subhash Bose. We have Omar Noor Muhammad Habib Yusuf Marfani, also in the front row. He joins us from Yangon, Myanmar. Omar Habib is the grandson of Mehman Abdul Habib Yusuf Marfani. His grandfather was born and grew up in Gujarat's Kathiawar and settled in Burma, where he became a very successful business entrepreneur. During Netaji Week, observed in Rangoon in July 1944, Abdul Habib Marfani donated his entire fortune, worth over 1 crore at the time, in cash, real estate, and jewelry to the Azad Hind movement. He then joined the Indian National Army as a soldier. Abdul Habib happily became a fakir overnight in the cause of India's freedom, responding to Netaji's call for total mobilization. Our Netaji birthday concert today, a tradition here for decades, which will start from 11:30, will be performed this year by folk artists from villages in Bengal's Murshidabad and Nadia districts, led by Chote Ghulam Fakir and Babu Fakir. They are already here. A warm welcome to them. Abdul Habib Marfani, Omar Habib's grandfather, was personally decorated by Netaji with the Sevak-e-Hind medal. He was among several notable supporters and benefactors of the struggle in Burma. The names of Ghulam Hussain Mushtaq Randheri, who was from Surat in Gujarat originally, and Karim Ghani, who was a Tamilian, come to mind. We are delighted to welcome Professor Dominic Leven, who is on the dais, back to Netaji Bhawan after 15 years. Professor Leven, a very distinguished historian of empire and of modern Russia, gave Netaji Research Bureau's Shishir Bose lecture here in January 2009. This evening at 6 p.m., he will give Netaji Research Bureau's fourth Krishna Bose lecture on a most topical subject: Russia and Ukraine, past, present, future. Russia and Ukraine, past, present, future, at 6 o'clock in this auditorium today. I hope many of you will join us here then. I would like to welcome the Consul General of Germany, who is present. I would also like to welcome the Deputy Consul General of Japan, who is seated here, and Srimati Shashi Paja, who is representing the government of West Bengal today. A very warm welcome to all of you. On their wedding night in December 1955, which is known as Pulshojja Rat in Bengali, Krishna Bose asked her new husband, "What is Netaji Bhawan?" Shishir replied in English, "It is my temple." Netaji Bhawan was dedicated to the nation by Sharat Chandra Bose in 1946-47. But this temple acquired life, had its very own Pran Pratishtha, only after 1957, when Shishir Kumar Bose established the Netaji Research Bureau here to take forward his father's vision of a living memorial where Netaji's life of struggle would be rigorously researched, documented, and showcased to the world, and from where his ideology would be disseminated and propagated. In 1961, Shishir Bose opened the world-class Netaji Museum on the first and second floors of this historic house. That museum now draws hundreds of thousands of Indians every year. Indians of every region and state of our country, and of all faiths, ethno-linguistic communities, and generations, young and old, come here every day. They all come in droves, in a rite of pilgrimage, to pay homage to our immortal hero and the eternal emperor of Indian hearts. Believe me, I know. I experience and witness this every single day. Subhash Chandra Bose is not just a pan-Indian or even a subcontinental icon. He is a global icon of resistance to imperialism and colonialism in all its ugly forms. On his 127th birth anniversary today, let me recall for you what Nelson Mandela said when he visited Calcutta in the 1990s. I quote Nelson Mandela: "Your heroes of those days became our heroes. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose was amongst the great persons of the world whom we, black students, regarded as being as much our leader as yours. Netaji was as much our leader as yours," Nelson Mandela said. Mandela was born in 1918, so my father Shishir Bose's generation. Indeed, Mandela went on, "Netaji united all militant youth of all the colonially oppressed world. We followed with pride his great contributions. We followed with pride his great contributions." In January 1979, Shishir Kumar Bose started The Oracle, the then quarterly journal. Under his editorship, The Oracle, whose latest number we are going to release today, grew in subsequent years into a treasure trove of information on India's freedom struggle. In his inaugural editorial, January 1979, Shishir Bose wrote, and I quote, "Whereas a right leadership and a correct course will enable India to take a great leap forward and be an example to humanity, a wrong step and a wrong direction will land her back to medieval times, to despair and disintegration." End quote. In 1997, on the occasion of Subhash Chandra Bose's 100th birth anniversary, Netaji Research Bureau's Netaji Centenary Oration, Netaji Research Bureau's Netaji Centenary Oration was delivered from this dais, by Edward W. Said, the Palestinian scholar and public intellectual. Said's address, Decolonization and the Politics of Identity, that's what he titled his Netaji Centenary Oration, Decolonization and the Politics of Identity, was published in a 1998 number of the Oracle. We have reprinted that address in full in the January 2024 birth anniversary number of the Oracle, which we will formally release in just a few minutes. It's also available for free on the homepage of our website, netaji.org. We Indians have just witnessed the perverse and indeed monstrous form the politics of identity can take in a post-colonial state. So let me conclude by reading out to you the final paragraph of Edward Said's Netaji Centenary Oration, 1997, quoting Edward Said. "It would seem to me, therefore, that attempts to return the collectivity of human beings to a primitive stage of narcissistic struggle need to be understood not as descriptions of how they in fact behave, but as incitements to wasteful conflict and unedifying chauvinism in the wake of colonialism. And that seems to be exactly what we do not need." Indeed, that is exactly what we do not need. So, on this sacred occasion of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's 127th birth anniversary, may I invite all Indian nationalists and patriots to come to this temple of enlightenment and inspiration. Jai Hind. We will now release the birth anniversary number of our journal, The Oracle, in which Edward Said's address is reprinted in full. I hope many of you will pick it up. It's available from our bookshop by the front gate. I would like to invite a few of our special guests to come up on the dais and join us in releasing this number of the Oracle. Bharati Sahai Chaudhary will remain seated, although she will sing for us once the release is done. But can I invite the members of her family, I mean, all of you really, including her son Sanjay Chaudhary, her granddaughter-in-law, Tanvi Srivastava, and Umar Habib Sahab, please come up to the dais and join us in releasing the oracle.
Good. Jai Hind. In November 1979, Shishir Kumar Bose and Krishna Bose traveled through East and Southeast Asia, retracing the footprints of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose during the struggle for freedom between 1943 and 1945. In Japan, Iweichi Fujiwara kept telling Krishna that he would show her how a soldier of a defeated country lives. Krishna found the refrain odd, as the economic prosperity of the defeated country was by now the envy of the world. Having played a key role in the wartime formation of the Indian National Army, Lieutenant General Fujiwara rose to become the chief of Japan's self-defense forces in the 1960s. One evening, the Boses arrived at Fujiwara's modest, two-storied, wood-framed home to be warmly welcomed by the general's wife, daughters, and granddaughters. A traditional Japanese dinner featuring shabu shabu was accompanied by pure Darjeeling tea.